Well, hello everyone. Wait with me will be starting in just a few moments. But if you are new to Fireside and you're here live, there's a few things you can do. You can hit any of the emojis across the bottom, the clap or the laugh or the party sound, and we will hear it and everybody will hear it. Everyone in the audience will hear it. There's also, you can react or leave a question or a comment. If you hit the react button, choose an emoji, type in your comment or question, and press send. You can do the same thing with the Q&A button. It'll act the same way. And if you want to speak or be on the stage, the easiest way is to hit the plus sign where it says speaker, and that will automatically request that you can speak. And you can request to speak through the Q&A button also. So the show will be starting in probably a minute or so, maybe a minute and a half, and we'll get it done. So also remember to share this out to all your friends and share it to the people that don't like you also. They might like the show. Who knows? But the show will be starting in just a few moments. And I'd just like to say hi to everyone before the show starts. I see Jennifer and Yvonne and Jason and Lynn and Cassidy and Denise and Amber and Angela and I might have pronounced that wrong. Anyway, but we got it, and we'll see you in just about a minute. At least Jill will see you. I'm going to be on the sidelines, just producing. See you in a minute.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's time for Wait With Me, and I'm your host, Jill Cox Cordova. Thanks so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate you. If it's your first time of coming to the show, please know that I view my entire audience as accountability partners as I talk about my triumphs and my struggles in my weight loss journey. So I want to welcome everyone who's here. Excuse me for turning sideways. My phone is sideways so that I can see everyone. I see Love3. I see Denise. I see Jennifer. Jennifer, thank you for saying that sharing is caring. That is very true. Thank you. Yvonne, Jason, Lynn, Cassidy, Amber, and Angelia. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name incorrectly, but great. Something is wrong. My producer, it would help if I had a microphone, huh? You can tell I'm used to being a producer, not on camera. But anyway, in case you didn't hear anything I just said, I was welcoming everyone to the show and telling you that if it's your first time of being here, I spend 30 minutes talking about my triumphs and my struggles with my weight loss journey. And I believe that all of you all, just simply by showing up to this show, serve as my accountability partners. So if you need an accountability partner for your mission to get healthy, and that is my why, then please tell me when we get to that point in the show. I will invite people to come and talk to me during one of the segments of the show. So, first of all, I want to start off by telling you about my week in terms of trying to stick to the plan that I'm on. I was out of town over the weekend. And if you travel, in fact, I'm going to do an episode on this in a couple of weeks. If you travel, it's really hard to stay on track because you may know what you're, supposed to eat, but it may be difficult to find exactly what you need to eat at that moment and that time. So that was the case for me this weekend rather. And then when I returned home, my first day of work this week, so Monday, we had severe internet issues in my neighborhood. So it was out for 8 or 9 hours. And I work from home full time. So I had to leave my house and go find a place that had great Wi-Fi service. And that put me off schedule too, because at home I have my meals. I prep my meals on Sundays, and I have that, ready to go at home. But when you're out and you're at an establishment that requires you to purchase what they have, that's really difficult to do. So that's been my week. And it's Wednesday? Today and yesterday were much better. The internet came back at around, 8:30 p.m., 9 o'clock p.m. on Monday. So Tuesday and Wednesday were good, but I feel like I lost some days because I did the best I could. I still made healthy choices, but I couldn't eat when I wanted to. And if you've ever tried to lose weight, when you eat is also a factor in trying to lose weight. So I was really off track this week for things that were out of my control. So enough about that. I will start with my first segment.
And Jill, I don't think you saw her come into the audience, but we have Pamela here now.
Hi, Pamela. Welcome to the show. It's nice to see you here. I also see Daisy, so welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, let's go ahead and get to my first segment.
This is the deal. This is the deal.
Okay, so the deal this week is that I want to talk about leaving things in the past. I've gotten to a point in my weight loss journey, which I started late October. I started this show in November, but I actually started my weight loss journey this time in late October. And one of the things that kept appearing in my head, and part of weight loss is your mindset as well, is that, oh, man, I used to be able to eat that. Or, oh, look when I looked like that. Or, I remember when I was a size 2. I remember when I was a size 4. And so all of these thoughts kept coming in my head throughout this latest journey. Now, for those of you who are new to the show, I started out weighing in the 160s. Now I'm in the 140s, and in a moment I will weigh myself, as I do every week, in front of you to hold myself accountable. So numbers were something that staying in my head, whether it was size or measurements. So I decided to, in my head, like, what's the way to keep the past in the past? What's final? in regard to that. Like, how can I just keep it there and it never come back? So I thought of, thinking of it as burying my old self. I'm still me. I'm still me. I feel like I'm a better version of me. So, so not all of me is gone as I lose the pounds. I feel like the best parts are still here, or at least I hope that's what people think. But I need to leave those numbers, size, measurements in the past. I also need to clean out my closet and get rid of clothes that I kept in my I keep in my closet just in case I gain a whole size bigger than I am right now. I need to get rid of that because knowing I have that is like a crutch, right? So I just need to get rid of it and hope that I never have to wear that size again. I also need to really work on keeping the shame and the embarrassment I feel from those people there are many people who are still in my life who have known me for decades. So they've seen me in all different sizes. And my husband has seen me in all different sizes as well. When we met and started dating, I weighed around 110, 112, and I walked every day for 6 miles with my dog. So I was also very fit as well. And that all changed. That all changed. So I'm ashamed that I allowed myself to get to this point. But if you've ever tried to lose weight, we all know there's a reason why we got to that point. It didn't happen overnight. So my shame and embarrassment actually goes back much further than even when I was smaller. And now that I recognize what that is, if you haven't seen the very first show I did on Fireside, go back and look at season 1, episode 1, and I explain exactly when I knew that I started having a poor relationship with my own body. So go back and look at that if you haven't seen it, and you'll understand where I'm coming from now. But for years, no matter what size I am, I've had a poor relationship with my body and my body image. And so I've really tried to work on that, and I have a much better attitude about it. I have a much better attitude about who I am, and I know who I am better than before. So I'm leaving that shame and embarrassment behind. I'm also leaving my eating and exercise bad habits behind. I've always loved to work out, but I prefer workouts that don't feel like exercise, such as dancing. And I love to walk. And in fact, I'm a creative person, and most of my creativity or most creative ideas come when I'm walking, and it's just me and my music, and I'm walking, and so I want to keep those kinds of things, but I want to stop thinking of. Before like I said, I would work out. I would walk 6 miles, and my workouts were really intense and high impact and long. If I didn't work out a minimum of an hour, I didn't feel like I had worked out. I'm not that person anymore. That person's gone. But as I've gotten older, I also realize, there are such things as HIIT exercises. I talked about this a little bit last week. HIIT stands for HIIT, stands for high intensity interval training. So it's when you do bursts of exercise and you rest for a small amount of time, and then you do a burst of exercise again. So when you do that, you don't have to work out as long to achieve similar results. So now my workouts, I'll do about 20 minutes of a HIIT exercise, 20 to 30 minutes. And then because I just like yoga and I always feel like I need a good stretch, I'll do maybe 15 minutes of yoga as soon as that's over. And so technically I'm working out, probably around 35 minutes, 45 minutes. but not at it's all low impact. And I feel more toned than it did, for hours and hours on a treadmill, like like I used to do, or on the elliptical, like I used to do. I still like those types of machines. I just know now that I don't have to do that to achieve the results that I want. So you may be wondering, well, what are you going to keep that's new, or what are you going to start that's new? Well, doing this show is the most vulnerable thing I could have ever imagined doing, and I will continue to do that even when I do one day reach my goal. I'm also going to start living in the now, the present, the current moment, because I've found that when I plan my meals for a week, and let's say I'm having a stressful day at work, or something stresses me out. In the past, I would have been an emotional eater. But now and even now, sometimes that still creeps up. But I don't beat myself up for it anymore. I just get right back on track with the next meal or the next thing I put in my mouth. So I'm living meal in the now, and I take each meal one meal at a time, one snack at a time. And yes, I would like to say, by such and such date, do the SMART goals goals that are specific and measurable, and attainable, right? And I do that, but at the same time, it's not as important to me to put a specific date that I have to be a certain size. That's not what this journey is about for me. In the past, yes, definitely. I wanted to look a certain way. I wanted to wear a certain size by a certain date for a special occasion. Now, I just want to be healthy. I just want to be healthy. I want to be able to go to the doctor and all my numbers are great, especially for my age. And now, and I've started meal prepping, which I didn't always do in the past. In fact, I used to think of the kitchen as a place that you just walk through to get to another room in my house. And so interestingly, I'm not a foodie. I'm not a foodie. I just would eat when I was emotional, and apparently I was emotional a lot. So no more of that. I'm also, and this is the biggest thing, I'm setting intentions for each day. Every day I set an intention of what that day is going to be for me. And guess what? That's what usually happens, unless it's something out of my control. So to recap, I'm burying the past and I'm starting anew, or I'm continuing with my good habits that I've started to establish. And those include living in the now, meal prepping, and setting intention. So that's the deal for this week. I see. Maybe do I have a comment, producer? Oh, I do. Okay.
And also, you had Arlene came into the show.
Arlene, hey! For those of you who are new to Fireside, Arlene has 2 shows now, I believe. And she's a phenomenal professional matchmaker. So you'll definitely want to check out her show and her services. She's just a wonderful person to know. So thank you for being here, Arlene. Let's see what Jennifer has to say. She says, oh man, 140, tried keto, intermittent fasting, and still have struggles. Me too. In fact, I will talk a little bit about intermittent fasting in a minute. Lord, give me strength. It's been a challenge having a major loss. Oh no, baby girl. And I have hiked up to 167 and now back down to 138. Good for you, ish, 138-ish. But my phone is, okay, but my safe is 119.5-ish. Still shorter now than...
turning the phone, Jill.
Oh, sorry. Well, maybe you should read it, producer. Can you see it?
I was doing something else.
Well, I can't. I have to move the phone to see the rest of this. Still shorter now than when I started 5'6". Love running, but but my body says no. What do you recommend? Okay. That's all. Well, thank you first of all for saying and sharing all of that, Jennifer. I'm 4'11", and I'm in my 140s, so you can see that I'm carrying a lot of extra weight. In terms of, I do intermittent fasting now. I'm also on a plan that, if you're familiar with Dr. Ian Smith, who is his whole specialty is weight loss. He has a new book that just came out last week that's called the MetFlex Diet. And this one is not really a diet. It's just ways to rev up your metabolism. Because if you can rev up your metabolism, then you train your body to burn, fat faster, right? And so, but his plan actually confuses your body because one day it might be a keto day, another day it might be a fasting day. Fasting meaning 500 calories that day, the rest is liquid. And so your body never knows what it's going to get that day. That's the plan. He has us on different types of intermittent fasting. So for those of you who don't know what intermittent fasting is, it means that you have a certain window that you eat and a longer window that you don't. So one of the most common ones is to eat all your meals, 3 meals, 2 snacks within 8 hours, and therefore don't eat for 16 hours. But right now he has us on a plan where we can eat 3 meals, 2 snacks in 10 hours, but next week it'll be something different. So our bodies are staying in somewhat of confusion. And he also has keto on the plan, but it's different keto than any other keto I've ever seen. But that's working for me. His plan has been working for me. And also, he allows you, he wants it to be a lifestyle change. And I recommend that too, rather as opposed to a diet. So he has things on there that people probably like to eat, like pizza, ribs, chicken wings, things like that. But you counterbalance it with how much exercise he tells you to do, and he includes that as well. So my recommendation is to think of it as what can you do for the rest of your life, to keep yourself or get to your goal, and once you get there, to maintain it. Also, I definitely recommend exercise being something that you enjoy doing. So if you struggle with workouts, just move. Just move. So for example, I mentioned that I work from home. So, and I work at a magazine. So I sit all day and I'm on a computer all day, but once an hour, I have steps in my house. I get up and I go out. I just go downstairs, come back up, go back downstairs. I keep going back and up and down the steps, just so that I'm not sitting for 8 hours straight. And, when I was working in an office, I definitely moved a lot more. So I would recommend you just realize the things that you like to eat. Maybe there are substitutions for them that are a little healthier. And if you live with people who don't support what you're doing, see if they can, hide their foods, the foods that they want to eat from you. That's what my family does. That's what my husband does anyway, not my mother. But, especially if they know that that's something you really like to eat. So, and then try to be mindful when you're eating. So instead of sitting in front of a TV, while you're eating, because you may not realize how fast you're eating or that you've even eaten at all. So you could just mindfully eat, sit at a table, and just have a nice meal and savor everything that you do. So that's my recommendation for now. If you have other questions, when we get to the segment where you can talk to me, then you can talk to me. All right, my producer's telling me I'm running out of time, so let's get to segment number 2. This is the segment where I weigh myself every week. I do my measurements before the show, just before the show. And this week, my waist is down a quarter, my hips are the same, but my chest went up a half inch. I'm not expecting my weight to be. Last week I gained 2 pounds from the week before. This week I'm not expecting much better, if at all, because of the things I talked about at the beginning of the show, the things that were out of my control that got me off track. Last week I weighed 146.15. So let's see what I weighed tonight.
I can do it. I can do it. If I put my mind to it. If I put my mind to it, I can do it, do it, do it.
146 and 14 ounces. 146 and 14 ounces.
For some reason, every time my husband says my weight, it sounds so much louder. It's like, why are you yelling my weight? But anyway, last week it was 146.14. Tonight it's 146. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Last week it was 146.15. Tonight it's 146.14. I will take it. I will take it. Because I actually expected a gain because of all the things that were out of my control this week. And by the way, I celebrate non-scale victories too. I recently put my weight in the BMI chart, and now I'm instead of obese, the obesity category, I'm in the overweight category. So my BMI is coming down as well. So I'm very happy about that. All right, to keep it moving, let's go to segment number 3.
Okay, it's your turn to share.
All right, this is the segment where I invite you to come talk to me on the stage. If you don't know how to ask to speak, in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, there's a circle with an equal sign in it. Click on that. It gives you a drop-down menu. Toward the top, it says invite to speak or request to speak. I will see it and I will accept it. So does anyone want to talk to me? I think I had more messages.
Yes,
Can you read them for me?
Jennifer, Black Cat Jennifer. I think we have 2 Jennifers in the audience now. I can't see the audience at the moment. But Jennifer gave you a thumbs up, flux, she said. And then again, she said, I'm an Anthony Bourdain type of cook. Ooh.
Oh, wow. Impressive.
So, oh, yeah, she's just eating great food, great food. Like you said, I use food as why don't you love me? Oh, okay. So the emotional eating. And then
I can relate.
Another thumbs up. That's all good. And the comments just went away. So the comments just disappeared. But I think we have Daisy who wants to speak.
Yes,
So do you
I
have her?
have her on the stage. Hi. Well, first of all, Jennifer, thank you for your comments. And if you need an accountability partner, my information is in the fortune cookie that's scrolling across the middle of your screen. So just reach out to me, and we can hold each other accountable.
Yeah, and also Jennifer, I can see my comments again. Jennifer also says, "You're amazing, Jill."
Oh, thank you.
You are amazing.
Thank you.
Really are.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. All right. Speaking of accountability partners, hey, Daisy.
Hey Jill, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm glad to hear that you are holding the line, having
I'm
a
holding
week
it.
where it was like holding on. And that's inspirational for me. So I'm glad to hear it. And congratulations. I am still traveling, so I'm still trying to monitor my eating in the same way that you were doing. So
It's
that's
it's
all I
not
have to
easy
say.
when you're traveling, is it?
No, I've been doing a lot of cooking, but that's
Good.
about it. But lean meats and chicken chili, that kind of stuff. Not
Oh, that sounds
overdoing it with the
good.
yeah, yeah. So I've been trying to hold on. I haven't gotten on the scale, but that's okay.
Well, if I
So
remember correctly, the last time you traveled, you actually lost weight,
I
didn't you?
did, I did. I'm
So we
hoping
need to
I
learn from
haven't.
you.
I think as I've been doing a lot of portion controlling, like really watching
Mm-hmm.
my portions and not snacking. And I'm intermittent fasting, but that's kind of like my natural resting metabolic rate. Is
Mm-hmm.
that I don't generally eat breakfast and not don't want anything until 1 o'clock. So I'm still doing that and trying to finish up by 8. Trying to. So yeah, just trying to keep it on track.
Excellent. That's excellent. Yeah, we could definitely learn from you. In fact, I think in a couple of weeks, um, yeah, on the 26th, if you're able to come to the show, I would like to talk to you because it's all about weight loss and while you're vacationing.
Oh, okay. I'll be here. Hopefully, I think I'll be
Okay.
here. I don't see why I wouldn't. Okay,
Okay.
well, you take it easy and congratulations again.
Well, thank you and congratulations to you for you're holding the line too. So good.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Well,
All
great
right.
job.
Good talking to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank- All right. I don't know how to get myself off the stage. Producer?
My producer
Producer?
could help you. Could you help her?
Okay, thank you. Have a good one.
Okay, you too.
Thanks.
Would anyone else like to say something? If you've just joined the show, we've been talking about leaving things in the past. We've been talking about intermittent fasting. We've been talking about eating while you're traveling. All the things.
Yeah, I see that our friend Stacy has came into the audience.
Stacy, I love Stacy. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for coming. Do I have
Yes.
anything else? I see comments. Jennifer says thank you. Oh, you're
Well,
welcome.
well, Jill, you're just about at the end of the show.
Yes, and yes. So I need to wrap it up, right? All right. Well, let's get to my next segment, my last segment.
I can do it. I can do it if I put my mind to it. If I put my mind to it, I can do it, do it, do it.
And so can you. This is the segment where I talk about the goal that I set for myself last week and the goal that I'm setting for myself this week. So last week, I just wanted to get back on track. That kind of went out the window because of all the things I described at the beginning of the show. This week, I'm traveling again into a place where I love the food, New Orleans. So my goal will just be not to gain weight. That'll be my goal. So
That's a good goal. That's a good goal. And Stacy did say she's doing fine.
oh,
She's
good. I'm
doing
glad to
great.
hear that, Stacy. Good, 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 good. Okay, well, I've done my goal for the week. I've set my goal, so I guess I should end the show.
I know you just mentioned that you're going to New Orleans, and so am I.
Oh, yes, and we're doing something while we're there. My husband and I. And by the way, if you don't know who the producer is, he's my husband. That's Tony, and he has a show. He has 2 shows he does by myself. I'm the producer of his show. And one of them is called Poetic People Fighting Racism. It's every other Saturday. So it happens to be this Saturday. So his show will be live from New Orleans at 9 o'clock Eastern on Saturday. But we're going to be doing pop-up shows throughout the day because we're going to the French Quarter Music Festival. So we'll be doing pop-up shows when we find interesting people, and you know how easy that's going to be, right? So it'll be a lot of pop-up shows. Speaking of my husband, we have a show that we do together in about an hour called I'm Right, I'm Right. It's comical conversations about relationships. And tonight, we're actually talking about how weight loss and weight gain can affect a relationship. But please know that I'm not talking about us. We have a great relationship, and my husband is not losing he's not using my weight gain or loss against me. So we're not talking about us tonight, but we are talking about that topic. A week from now, I will be back here on Wednesday night, and my show is about how I've used journaling every morning to set my intention for my weight loss, and it's actually working for me. So I'll be talking about that next week. The music you've been listening to right now is called Sunzalk International. It's by G'day Production. And the music that you heard during each segment is called Real Cool Sunglasses, and it's by That Core Beat. Thank you, my husband, my producer, for all that you do. And thank you, audience, for being here. You truly are my accountability partners, and I'm serious. If you need accountability partners, contact me or email me, do something, and I'm happy to do that for you as well. Thank you for being here. The conversation with Stefan is next, and he's always great, so you'll want to check his show out if you've never seen it. So bye, everybody. I'll see you next week.